PBS Kids opens worlds of possibilities for all children, thanks to PBS stations and viewers like you.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. Reading rainbow.
Hi there. You know, there's nothing like a good dinosaur movie to get the imagination going. Ever since I can remember, I've been in love with dinosaurs. I used to dream of going back in time millions of years to get a close-up look at a real dinosaur. But you know, coming face to face with one of those big fellas would be no joke. Unless, of course, he had a good sense of humor.
What does a dinosaur use to fix things? A rep tool. Get it? A rep tool. Okay, you look like a musical crowd. What kind of music do teenage dinosaurs like best? Rocks and roll. All right, cool it. I got this one will kill you. What did the dinosaur piano teacher tell his students? Be sure and practice your scales. Boom, boom. Oh, I got 1,000,000 of them!
There used to be dinosaurs right where I'm walking now, and they were no laughing matter. Some dinosaurs, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, were as big as that backhoe. And just one of its teeth was as long as the space between your wrist and your elbow. Can you imagine how large its mouth must have been? What if that machine wasn't digging, but eating any and everything that crossed its path? You know, I feel pretty small next to these large machines. Kind of gives me an idea of what it would feel like to live in a world full of giant dinosaurs and ear-splitting sounds. Did you know that on construction sites, just like this one, machines sometimes dig up teeth and bones of dinosaurs that have been buried for millions of years? I've been reading a fascinating book all about digging up dinosaurs and putting them back together. In fact, that's what it's called. There's a dinosaur in this book whose head is almost 2 times larger than your entire body. And it shows us just how small you and I would seem if we were to stand next to a dinosaur? As you can see, I've been through this book more than once.
Digging up dinosaurs and putting them together again by a leaky. Have you ever seen dinosaur skeletons in a museum? I have. I visit them all the time. I went again yesterday. I saw a Apatosaurus. It weighed 90,000 pounds. Apatosaurus is its real name, but some people call it Brontosaurus. I saw Iguanodon. I recognize Iguanodon by its horned thumbs. I saw Triceratops. Tri means three. 3 horns. Triceratops. I like to say their names. Tyrannosaurus used to scare me. Just its head is almost twice my size. Hello, up there. I'm not afraid of dinosaurs anymore. Sometimes I call them, "You bag of bones," under my breath. I used to wonder where they came from and how they got into the museum. But now I know. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. A few of them were as small as birds, but most were enormous. Some ate plants. Some ate the meat of other dinosaurs. And some may have eaten the eggs of other dinosaurs. Ew. Dinosaurs lived everywhere. They lived on every continent in the world. Then they died out. There hasn't been a dinosaur around for 65 million years. Until about 200 years ago, no one knew anything about dinosaurs. Then people began finding things in rock. People were finding fossils. Fossils are a kind of diary of the past. Here's how they formed. A dinosaur died and sank into a river. Its flesh rotted. Its skeleton was covered by sand. In time, the sand and skeleton turned to stone. The dinosaur was hidden for millions of years. The earth changed. Then, some of the stone broke away and part of the dinosaur showed. Everything we know about dinosaurs comes from studying fossils. What finds these were! People crowded into museums to see them. But the dinosaur bones didn't just get up and walk there. They had to be dug out of the ground, slowly and patiently. This is how fossil hunters work. First, they have to find a dinosaur. They search along riverbanks and in quarries. They climb up high cliffs and down deep canyons. With luck, someone spots a fossil bone poking through the rock. The site is covered with a tent, and the work begins. Scientists chip at the rock close to the fossil. They brush away the grit. They have to be very careful. A fossil is hard as rock, but very brittle and easy to shatter. Sometimes the bones are found all scrambled up like this. Figuring out how they go together is some job. When the bones are ready to be moved, they are carefully wrapped in tissue paper and put into boxes or sacks. Large bones are covered with a plaster cast, just as a broken leg is. The cast protects the bone. At the museum, scientists study the bones. They try to figure out what size and shape the dinosaur was. They try to find out how the dinosaur stood and walked and what he ate. If there are enough bones, scientists are able to build a complete skeleton. Until recently, only a few museums had dinosaurs. Then, scientists learned to make copies of the skeletons. A mold is made for each bone. Each bone has a top and bottom mold. Now museums all over the world have dinosaur skeletons. And many people can spend hours looking at them, the way I do. See you at the museum sometime.
Our friend in this book sure knew where to have a good time. Museums are fantastic places. They have incredible things to do, see, and hear. You know, museums are a lot like zoos, only their treasures are still alive. In fact, many of the animals on the earth today are living cousins to the dinosaurs. And looking at them can help us to imagine what real dinosaurs might have been like.
Imagine for a moment your relatives assembled, and when you looked around the room, you noticed they resembled those great and mighty creatures that once lived here before us, our favoritist of ancestors, the dinosaurs. Lizards, alligators, even snakes with slinky necks could look through family photos and find Tyrannosaurus rex. Most likely, they would recognize his dried-out, beady skin. It's pretty much the same type as they now are living in. Or what about the tortoise? Go and tap upon his shell. He'll remember ancient tales, though they'll take him time to tell. His uncle, Ankylosaurus, was a dino of distinction. He passed on down his hard hat back. The rest went to extinction. Take a good look at Rhinoceros. His face is old and fossilous, and that nose, who knows what he did to merit it? From Triceratops he did inherit it. Way a hippopotamus's bottomus. He won't make a fuss. His dino cousins were such blimps, the hippo thinks he's quite the shrimp. If an elephant's in a funk, ask him where he got his trunk. He won't name a department store. He'll credit it to a dinosaur. So, if your relatives seem reptilian, and some even look like they're over 1,000,000, climb on up your family tree and check your dino history.
Well, we've read a book about dinosaur digs, seen some of their living relatives. Now it's time we go on a dig of our own. Got all the gear I need, my trusty guidebook. Now I'm ready to go out and dig up some fossils and carve out a name for myself. This is an old wreck of a Jeep, but he gets me where I want to go. I call him Jeeposaurus Wreck, and you're not gonna believe the sound this motor makes. At Dinosaur National Monument in Jensen, Utah. 140 million years ago, dinosaurs roamed this valley and flourished here. Now all that's left are fossils. They are bones embedded in the rock. This is the only place in the world where you can see dinosaur bones exactly as nature preserved them. Come on, let's take a look. Hi, guys.
Hi, LeVar. How do you like it up here?
Oh, it's pretty nice.
I'm Linda, one of the rangers, and this is Tobe, one of the paleontologists who actually uncovers the bones here.
This is amazing. What is this, a wall of dinosaur bones, huh?
Good description. This is one of the biggest dinosaur deposits in the world, in fact.
About how many bones do you think are in here?
Well, at last count, we're up over 2,100, I think.
You really do keep a count?
That's right. We number every one of them, identify it if we can, and keep a complete catalog of all the different kinds.
About how many dinosaurs do you think left their bones behind here?
Oh, probably a couple dozen of them. Sometimes it's just one bone from one animal. Sometimes it might be maybe half a skeleton or so. And there are about 10 different types of dinosaurs here. Everything from little ones right up to the great big ones like Brontosaurus.
Really? What's Toby doing up here?
Mostly just chipping away some of the rock from around the bones. He's not trying to get the bone clear out, but to uncover it and leave it in place in the rock so that he can tell what it is and so that people who come here can see it.
What kind of tools does he use?
Everything from large hammers and chisels, like the one he was using there, right down to ice picks for some of the really fine work, just scraping away the rock.
This one looks kind of like a big drumstick or something. What is this bone?
Well, that's pretty close. This would be part of the lower back leg, probably of Brontosaurus, just the same as this in us. And this right here is probably the thigh bone from the same animal.
How old are these bones?
Oh, about 140 million years.
140 million years.
Right.
Now, say you wanted to take one of these bones out of here. What would you do with it then?
Well, first Tobe would leave some of the rock around the bone to help protect it while he gets it loose. And then he would take it down into our laboratory and work on it in there in more detail. Would you like to go see?
I'd love to.
Let's go. This is the lab where we work on the bones that have come out of the cliff, especially some of the ones that we want to use for special exhibits or displays, like this fellow here.
Well, now, what's this weird-looking guy's name?
That's Allosaurus. It's one of the rarer types of dinosaurs found here. And here, for instance, is a copy of a skull of Allosaurus.
This isn't the real thing, then?
Not the real thing, just an exact copy.
Whoa, look at these teeth.
What would you guess it ate?
Well, meat probably. They're pretty sharp.
That's right. They're sharp-pointed and sharp on the edges, too. Since Allosaurus couldn't cook its Brontosaurus steaks, why, it had to be able to rip right through that tough meat.
Now, there are a lot of holes here. Which one was the eye?
This one was for the eye. You can see on the model there how it was right under this big ridge of bone.
Right. Was this like an eyebrow or something?
Kind of like that, probably.
Right.
And then here we have an arm of an Allosaurus, even though it was rather short compared to its body. Big claws here probably helped it grab onto whatever it was going to eat, and it would just hang on to that and then rip into it with its teeth and tear it to pieces.
It doesn't sound very appetizing to me.
Probably a messy eater.
What else have you got to show us?
Over here, Tobe is working on a skull of Allosaurus that came out of the rocks. Shall we take a look at that?
Sure.
Now, this is an Allosaurus skull that actually did come out of the wall, and you can see Tobe is just very carefully chipping away some of the rock from around the teeth. So it's very detailed work. You know, dinosaurs aren't the only fossils that we find here. There are also fossils of crocodiles and turtles, like this one.
Wow.
You can see that it looks just about like a shell from a modern turtle living nowadays. And these numbers are all the different pieces of the shell, all the plates that fit together. And we also have a very small turtle here, probably a young one, and it's just this tiny little shell, and it's so well preserved that we can even see all of these tiny little leg and foot and toe bones here on the underside of it.
Neat. But what I want to know is, how did all these dinosaur bones get here in the first place?
Well, it's a very interesting story. We think there was a large river flowing here, and as dinosaurs lived and died all around the river, sometimes when it overflowed, maybe after rainstorms, it would pick up some of their bones and bodies. Sometimes just a few scattered bones, maybe sometimes a whole big bloated body floating down the river. And they would get stranded here and there in the shallow places or where the river went around a curve and slowed down. And other dinosaurs might come along and pick apart some of the skeletons, picking the meat off them, scattering the bones around more. And then later floods would keep on, covering over the bones with more sand and mud until they were buried.
So that's how all these dinosaur bones got here. That's really interesting. Tell me, Linda, why are you leaving all the bones in the wall?
Well, this is really the only place in the world where you can see so many dinosaur bones right in the rock where they were found, right where the dinosaurs themselves used to live.
So even though we have all of these bones, we still don't know exactly what dinosaurs look like, do we?
That's right. You can only tell so much from the bones. You can see about how they fit together and how the muscles attach to them, maybe how they moved, but there are lots of details that we don't really know, like their skin. You know, what color was it? Were they blue or green, or maybe pink with purple polka dots?
I guess no one ever took a picture of one.
That's right.
Boy, it boggles the mind. Well, thanks a lot for showing me
Well,
around.
I'm glad you could come.
You know, I'm feeling a little dinosaur. And speaking of doctors, how does a dinosaur doctor check his patient's heart? He takes his mud pressure. I like an audience that showers me with love. All right. Where does a dinosaur study to become a doctor?
Huh?
At Monocle School. All right. I thought Vegas was tough, but this is the pits. The mud pits, that is. Folks, if you'd like to be as popular as I am, then this book is for you. Tyrannosaurus Rex, a book of dinosaur riddles by Noel Stern, pictures by Victoria Chess. Don't tell anyone, but it's where I got all those great jokes I've been telling. And you've seen how popular I am. Wow, here are some other books I think you'll enjoy, but you don't have to take my word for it. And this crowd certainly doesn't.
Hi kids, my name is Ahmed, and I read a terrific book called Dinosaurs, but its real title should be Drawing Dinosaurs because it shows you some specific ways to draw dinosaurs. And not only does it show you how to draw dinosaurs, but it shows you how to say some of the names, like Dimetrodon, Brontosaurus, and Brachiosaurus. I drew Ichthyosaurus, and I drew it with a pencil so I can erase the lines when I was finished. If you want to decorate your room with dinosaur pictures, I suggest you go out and get this book right away so you can learn how to draw many of the dinosaurs.
If you're interested in bones, rocks, or fossils that come from 1,000,000 years ago, I think you would be interested in if you're a hunter of fossils. My name is Terry Whitehead. This book is not like a storybook because it is written in columns and it is a poem. I really like the picture where they showed a lady as being an ocean. And I also like the way they're illustrating the person as talking right to you. I think you'd like this book because of the pictures and the poetry, and because I read it in my bedroom, and I think you'd like to, too.
Hi, do you like dinosaurs? Millions and millions of years ago, there was dinosaurs everywhere, all over the place. My name is Kevin Ryback. I just read a book called Dinosaur Time. My favorite dinosaur is called the Brontosaurus because he's real big and fat and he's got a real tiny mouth. And some of the other dinosaurs in the book are real ugly because they're real fat and they got big horns on them. I think you should take a look at this book because everybody likes dinosaurs and the pictures are great.
How could creatures that existed for millions of years just vanish? Compared to how long dinosaurs lived on the Earth, we humans have been here only a very short time. Sure enough, it's a mystery, and the clues to that mystery are buried beneath the ground, like lost treasure. Each moment of every day, you and I stand on top of layers and layers of other time periods. If you dig down one layer, you might find an Indian arrowhead from, say, 100 or 200 years ago. But if you kept digging, you might find a fossil that's millions of years old. Well, we've seen people digging treasures out of the ground. I thought I'd put some clues back in. What if, eons in the future, other beings are trying to figure out what humans are like? What was important to you and me? What made us uniquely human? Well, a time capsule filled with clues about our times could help them. What would you put in this time capsule to explain what humans are like?
My baseball card collection because there will be different players then.
I will leave my dirty sneakers. I'll leave my TV.
My wheelchair, because in the future they might have a cure for handicaps.
I will leave my Smurf die.
A baseball bat.
I would leave my old shoes, old pants, old shirts, and old dresses and old dolls. A turkey.
I'd like to put a cassette tape and a cassette player in the time capsule and say that the most important thing in the world is peace.
Boy, those were some great suggestions. I think I'll just add a few things of my own. Let's see, some house keys. Photograph of me. How about an aerosol spray can? And of course, a copy of my favorite book. There. I wonder if these clues will help others figure out what we were like. Will anyone even care? I'd like to think so. After all, it's been millions of years since the dinosaurs disappeared, and we're still trying to put together the puzzle of their lives. Why were they so big? And what did they really look like? And why did they die out? Become extinct? When the dinosaurs ruled the Earth, how could they have known that millions of years in the future we'd be dreaming about them? I'm sure they never dreamed of us. See you next time.
Hold it. You can't end the show. I got one last joke. What did the dinosaur say when she bought a new book? Oh. I can really sink my teeth into this. Hey, maybe that's how the dinosaurs disappeared. They died laughing.